Imagine living in a quiet, small-town neighborhood. Friendly faces, familiar routines, and a sense of safety that makes you feel truly at home. But sometimes the darkest horrors hide in the most ordinary places. This is the true story of one of the most disturbing secrets ever uncovered, the horrifying case of Josef Fritzl. Welcome to True Story Files. It all began in the small Austrian town of Amstetten. Josef Fritzl was known as a successful businessman, a respected figure in the community, and a devoted family man. But behind the closed doors of his seemingly normal home, a nightmare was unfolding. In 1984, Fritzl lured his 18-year-old daughter, Elisabeth, into the basement under the pretense of helping him with a small renovation project. But when she reached the bottom of the narrow stairs, he locked the heavy steel door behind her. What Elisabeth didn't know was that she wouldn't see the outside world again for 24 long years. Over the years, Elisabeth was forced to live in a small, windowless dungeon Fritzl had carefully designed beneath his home. The room was soundproofed, reinforced with thick concrete walls, and sealed by an electronically controlled door. It was a prison built not just to keep her in, but to hide her existence from the world. In the darkness of that underground cell, Elisabeth gave birth to 7 children, the product of years of abuse and captivity. 3 of the children were kept with her in the basement, while the other 3 were raised upstairs by Fritzl and his unsuspecting wife, Rosemary, who believed her daughter had run away to join a cult. The 7th child, a baby boy, died shortly after birth. Fritzl burned his body in the furnace to destroy any evidence. For over 2 decades, Elisabeth endured unimaginable suffering. But in April 2008, everything changed. One of Elisabeth's underground children, 19-year-old Kirsten, fell seriously ill. Fritzl, fearing she might die, finally brought her to a hospital, claiming she had been left on his doorstep by her missing mother. The strange circumstances of Kirsten's appearance raised suspicions, and the police launched an investigation. When Elisabeth finally convinced her father to allow her and her remaining children to visit Kirsten in the hospital, it was her first taste of freedom in 24 years. Seizing the opportunity, Elisabeth managed to secretly inform the hospital staff of her ordeal. The truth soon unraveled a horror story, hidden in plain sight for nearly a quarter of a century. When the police raided the Fritzl home, they found the hidden basement dungeon, a twisted maze of small, damp rooms, where Elisabeth had been held captive for much of her life. Fritzl was arrested and later confessed to his crimes, admitting to rape, imprisonment, and the death of his infant son. He was sentenced to life in prison in 2009. As for Elisabeth, she and her children were given new identities and placed in a secret location to start their lives anew, far from the shadow of the house of horrors where they had been trapped for so long. Sometimes the true monsters aren't the ones lurking in the dark, they're the ones who hide in plain sight, blending into the fabric of everyday life. True horror doesn't always come with fangs and claws. Sometimes it wears the mask of a loving father. Thank you for watching True Story Files. If you want to hear more chilling real-life horror stories, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Stay safe, stay aware, and remember, sometimes the scariest monsters are the ones we think we know. Subscribe for more chilling true stories. This is True Story Files.